Excuse us.
Figuring out the tech.
I need to test if they can hear us.
Y'all give us an emoji or something if you can hear us.
And where if you can't, then we will take these out, okay? Let me see something real quick.
Yeah.
Test 1 2. Okay, yeah, we got Mike. We got Mike there. All right, baby, go ahead and talk to him while I'm setting up.
Hey, Jessica. What are you on here? What is that? Instagram? Sorry,
Yes,
we
Instagram.
got like 3 different things working. I just want to make sure y'all can hear us.
There's a delay on
Okay.
Facebook though.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
We'll get better, I promise. Get it together.
What's up? What's up, y'all? See if I can get over here.
There we go.
Well, what's up? Thank y'all for tapping in. Hey, we look cross out because we got like 5 cameras going right now, man. But thank y'all for tapping in with us. I think the lens is right here.
Yes, there we go. Sorry.
So this is a little different vibe tonight. We're doing a little live. Wanted to do a Q&A with you guys, man. Just kind of tap in. We got some questions that came in. We want y'all to be able to ask questions on here. But this is kind of our episode 4 version of the Relentless Love podcast, man. Yes. So thank y'all for tapping in with us.
Yeah, we love engagement. So we were like, okay, how can we get like more real and raw? So this is the best we can do. So even if you didn't get to submit questions this time, we will probably do it again every month or maybe every 6 weeks. So
yeah. Appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for the feedback too. We've been getting great feedback from the podcast. Our first 3 episodes or so, we were just kind of taking a stroll down memory lane, man. Just kind of running our story, man. Giving y'all some inside access to how we met, you know, the ups and downs we faced, all the good things, how we rebounded, and
so
just
keep the feedback coming.
Yeah. We're gonna get into some more topical things moving forward, and I think y'all gonna enjoy it. We got episode 5 and 6 already recorded and loaded, so y'all be ready for that, man. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna have some fun tonight with some Q&A.
So speaking of memory lane, the first question was, what is our favorite memory from the beginning of our relationship?
Favorite, sure. Was it Taco Cabana experience?
I don't know. The solo cup is pretty. If you listen to the podcast, that literally is one of my. I laugh. It wasn't funny then, but
yeah. The solo cup was definitely classic, man. We got some laughs out of that one. Yeah. Shoot, that's a good question, man. I remember us just like laying on the floor in my apartment. Yes, watching movies, man. I had a park. I think we was in like the transitional period of getting ready to move and all that, and I didn't even have like I had
this like ghetto couch that was like it wasn't feet, it was like on the floor, so it felt like you were on the floor. But we would fall asleep watching movies. That was our favorite thing.
Later watching movie. It was hot. I had a fan on the floor, oscillating fan blowing on the floor. And we would just be laying there watching movies all night, man. Kill Bill was one of the main ones that we would either like watch and fall asleep on. And back then the DVD would just keep rotating on the intro, and it'd be like bum, bum, bum. And we'll wake up like, what? We fall asleep on this show.
Yeah. So that was
fun.
It was good because it was a simple time. It was just us, which we didn't have a long time of just us because we had a baby pretty early, but. Yeah, that was good. I remember your spider too. He had a tarantula.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't want to create an issue, right? Because we have the solo cup, but I was like, it's me or that spider. It can't be both of us.
His name was Rocky.
Yes, Rocky had to go, and Rocky went.
What's up, Priscilla? I see you, hey. Man. What's up? Shout out to everybody tapping in with us, man. Thank y'all for joining on, man.
Yeah. So that was fond memories. Okay. What are the biggest hot buttons in our marriage? That's the next one.
Me being late, probably.
Yes.
I'm the late person. I'm the one that make everybody late. I'm running back in the house, making sure the AC set right, checking my clothes, locking doors.
It's you indecisive about what you're gonna wear. That's okay. I wouldn't say that's a hot button. Hot button is really, you get on my nerves. It is frustrating, but hot button is more like, I would say finances is a big one.
You mean like big button?
Yes.
Like big button. Okay.
Yes. Like it's very tense. It can.
Yeah. Finances and parenting.
Yes.
Too. Parenting. Yeah. Finances, because it's, I won't say hard to talk about it, but because we're so running and gunning, when we get ready to talk about it, we're tired and stressed out, frustrated already. Kids probably been going crazy, acting a fool, and we
put it off sometimes because we're busy, and then it's a reaction to something that happens. So then there's like tension.
Yeah,
and if we're honest, like some fears and insecurities about it. You know,
because I didn't grow up seeing the conversation around finances.
Yeah.
Even when as a young adult and all that, like I didn't have a lot of conversations around it, so it wasn't a normal thing to discuss budgeting and discuss savings and what we're gonna do with X amount of income, how we're gonna divvy it up. It was kind of like you just do what you do.
Yeah.
And so even with that, there is insecurities with it, and when you're not financially astute as well as you think you should be, there could be some fears with even talking about it.
Yeah, and for most of our marriage, we've lived off one income, and we don't have college degrees, so it's always been tight for us. So I think there's just been stress and anxiety in general. So you bring all of that energy,
right.
The lack of skills, the frustration,
all of the above.
I mean, that's why it's pretty. So we just want to normalize tension over financial discussions is normal. So the best thing to do really is to be proactive, to have that meeting. And we did it for a while. We've gotten lazy.
We have like rhythm. There's rhythms where we in pocket with it. Like, man, every Sunday we sitting down going through the checklist of what we did, what we got, what came in, where we're going to go. And then there's rhythms and seasons of life where we know we need to do it, but we just tired or we tapped out. Like Sundays are retreat mode. Like we just gonna be reclusive and chill. And then we look up and say, oh snap, we didn't go through the budget or the calendar. So that's definitely, I would say, it is a hot button.
So be proactive, do it over dinner. That's
Old food do the soul good, man, and it eases tension. But the parenting aspect too.
Yeah, parenting, I think one, if y'all listen to the podcast, so just some of the dynamics of me being a single mom for a season, there can be that like lie that I think is the enemy, that, Savion goes to you, he doesn't talk to you, and you gonna take his side. So I have to be very careful.
Yeah.
But as our kids have gotten older, like I have to be a little more vocal on some things. So
there's some truth to it, because kids lean in certain ways and they bend in certain ways, and there's certain affinities that you could have, and then all of that kind of plays into just observation of how the kids play on emotions, and like they can try to not say manipulate, but work their magic a little bit. And so there can be tension between correction, how do you correct learning kids behavior patterns and their just their propensities, if I'm saying that correctly, of how they're leaning and bent. And so if you don't have a common ground on how to teach, correct, lead, all the things we talked about tone and communication and all that, it can get a little like, ooh, where we at, like, right? And so there is a beauty in both spouses coming back to the table and saying, how are we going to handle this child? How are we going to handle these situations, so that we're not playing I'm on this person's side, I'm on that person's side, and then it ends up getting like contentious. Yeah,
well, you have to have a united front, and part of that is us communicating ahead of time. So there's a standard. So we have like values in place. Like this is the culture we want to have. So we've done that like on an annual vision retreat. We highly recommend that for couples.
Facts.
XO actually has, I think, not just a journal, but like a video series on how to do an effective vision retreat.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot
that was
for us.
Good. Yeah,
it helped
really
us
good.
talk through finances. It helped us talk through like some parenting things. But if I'm honest, we need to have more conversation because our kids are just in a different season, and it's like catching us off guard. So then it creates tension. So I would just say, I think that's just part of life. Like our kids change, our financial situation change. As changes happen, it's normal to have like, this is a new thing and it creates conflict. But at the end of the day, we're on the same team and we just have to approach it that way.
Yeah, man. Parents out there, man, if you hear this, man, salute, comment, man, throw some likes in there, man, because it's important. Your kids evolve, you evolve, the way you see the world and see things evolve, and you and your spouse got to be on one accord, man, including blended families and single parents that are parenting with each other, man. Make sure you're having conversation with your baby mom and baby daddy.
Yes.
About how you gonna do things.
Boundaries, for sure. For sure. Let's see. I don't know what you want to do.
What you got there? Why is it important to get along with your in-laws?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Where is that?
Some of y'all don't get along with your with your in-laws, man.
How important is it? That's
real. It's important though. I think it's important. I think that like respect is the main thing. And that obviously that's a man thing that we desire respect. But I think the respect the boundaries, the respect and honor of the individuals, because like everybody's an adult. And so everybody deserves certain respect and honor. Like even if you don't fully agree with your in-laws and the past history they have or things that happen, I think if honor and respect that, you can respectfully disagree and say, hey, here's our boundaries.
Right.
Here's the things that we can get along with, and here's the things where we gotta kind of just have our separate things and like try to keep the peace, because I've heard so many stories and I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
We don't have that issue.
We had a lot of stuff, but
you know what I mean?
That wasn't
so we didn't have to
we dodged a big bullet, but I think what we did a good job of was we communicated on like holidays, from what I hear, especially for newlyweds, holidays and figuring out how we're going to handle traditions is a big thing, or they don't know how to talk about it and it ends up blowing up at some point. So we did a good job of talking about that. Hey, Thanksgiving is going to be your family's holiday. Christmas is going to be mine. Now, obviously, sometimes we mixed it up, but we tried to honor each other and like separate as much as we could. But we also acknowledge some of this. We need to create our own new normals and our own traditions.
Just be us. Just be us, man. I think that goes back to that kind of just like we're all adults. We all can make our decisions. Let's all respect each other's perspectives and our boundaries. And then I think our families did a great job of doing that and giving us space to like be married and be in our own world and develop our own selves without being like very like, what y'all doing?
Yeah,
they were.
I'm grateful on both sides. They, especially because my parents divorced, and family dynamics played into that. So I think my dad and my mom, they did a good job of not intervening. So I appreciate that. And your family has always been really, they embraced me with open arms. I think vice versa. So we were blessed. But if you don't. If you're not blessed to have that, I think one, like Brock said, honor and respect is important. But if we keep it all the way 100, if you have some toxic situations, like you have to set boundaries, and you and your spouse have to be on the same page about it. And I would say if it's issues with the husband's family, let the husband address that, because the wife in that case needs to feel like she's a priority. So then she needs the husband to assert himself and confront it, and not let her be the bad guy in the situation. So that would show the other spouse honor. So it has to be addressed. Boundaries have to be set. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes making hard decisions. Conflict
is gonna happen, man. It's gonna be there. You can't avoid it at all times, man. But when it does, handle it respectfully. And try to preserve the relationship, as best as you can, man. But
relationship is important, and the kids being a part of their lives.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna be like, man, you gonna need some babysitters one day. You're gonna need somebody to watch your kids and come over and help out, man. And if you burn the bridge, totally like try if it's in your control to preserve it. You can't control nobody else's actions. Some in-laws, I just done heard so many stories. Some in-laws are just gonna be maniacs sometimes, man, and you can't control that. But what's in your control, try to preserve it and try to get along as best you can with honor and respect.
Yeah, and have empathy. Like there's a reason they probably act that way out of fear, out of insecurity, something. So just you know, keep them arm's length, but pray for them, try to love them.
True.
Try to be kind. All right. What is one odd thing about me that you find endearing? That's a good one.
Ooh. Odd.
One odd thing.
Let me think about it. Hold on. I'm trying to put this question in.
Well, while he does that, he's trying to type in there. Brock is terrible with names, y'all.
You gonna put me on blast?
I will put you on blast. And it so it's odd because he's so great with people and like he really does love people, but he genuinely like there's just not a space in his brain for the name to stick, and he will be way off. But it's so endearing because it tickles. Like I laugh like I've never laughed before every time. Every time he's way off, and it's like, whoa,
yeah. Hey, I'm sorry, I've butchered many names. I have called y'all.
He doesn't love you.
All kind of stuff, man. Like I'm sorry, y'all probably done it to me though. Maybe that's like my way of getting back over the years. My real name is Brockney. I done been called Broccoli, Brockin. I done been called all kind of stuff, man.
Brooke. Every time I go to Chick-fil-A, they say Brooke.
And even my artistry name, a saint. I done call it a sant, like croissant. I like a saint, all kind of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe that's my subconscious way of getting back over the years, man. I don't know.
Payback.
But yeah, sorry, y'all. I
that's one
great
that
with
I
faces.
Can think of. I have to think of another one, but you go.
Yeah, odd things, man. You don't have no odd things. You like perfect.
What about things I like or don't like or eat or don't eat?
You eat it all. You eat everything.
That
was odd.
Doesn't like he's particular about texture and temperature.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's endearing, but it's interesting.
And it's varying with food. Certain foods I want a little crisp, not too crispy. Certain foods I want moist, crisp, and kind of like the in between to that. Temperature I need it at a certain temp. I cannot eat cold stuff that's supposed to be warm. That just irks me, man. I need it to be heated up.
He does. And I've learned to not take offense when he's putting my food back in the oven. It drives me nuts. So now I create a different pan. He gets his own pan of enchiladas so he can make them dry and crispy. And I like mine wet and moist.
Yeah, but the enchilada need to have a little crisp on it with the cheese and all that. Everything else can be moist inside. I'm trying to think of anything odd that you do. You don't do nothing odd.
Puzzles.
That's not odd. You do. That's regular. That's not like odd. I mean,
I feel like you noticed something recently. My sandwiches. I don't like to eat the crust or pizza.
No. Well, that's not odd either. But I will say, people that don't eat pizza crust, y'all get on my nerves, dog. Straight up, man. Like, what's up? You eating all the pizza because you're not eating the crust and you're not saving no slices for nobody else. Shame on y'all, bro. The crust is supposed to fill you. That way you eat two pieces or so and you're done.
And you can eat more of what matters.
But that's everybody else want to eat some pizza. You not eating the crust.
No, I'm good.
That may be the odd thing right there. We went to DeLuca's and you ate the crust, I think.
No, I didn't. You just see that stack of I had a pile of crust.
Oddball, man.
All right.
Oddball over here.
Moving on. Okay, a more serious one. Okay, when one spouse goes to church and the other doesn't, how does this affect the family or the kids? That's a really good one.
Yeah, that is. Man, I think that.
Yeah, there is a follow-up question to that.
Okay. So that's a 2-part question.
Yeah. Go with part one.
Well, I actually my parents both didn't go to church when I was growing up, and I didn't fully understand it as a kid growing up. I made sense of it as I got older. How it affected me when I was a kid, I don't think it really affected me as a kid. Just because I didn't know any better. But we weren't in church like every single Sunday. So I think for like a person that like is a child and doesn't fully understand like the concept of relationship with God, is not being poured into in a super deep way, it may not like be as impactful. But for somebody who is really getting like some like, yo, you're really getting taught the word of God. You really are like in church Sunday after Sunday, and then like maybe your dad is not going. I think it can draw a question of like, is my dad a believer like us, or are they on two different ends of the spectrum? I think it just depends on the intensity of the relationship that's being built within the family unit, of if it really matters or not. Because me growing up didn't really affect me, but now I could see like with our life, if we didn't do it together, I know our kids would have questions about why daddy don't never come with us. Why
what
daddy
about
ain't
between the spouse? How does it affect their marriage?
I think between the spouse is big, just because like that's a big component of what makes and shapes your home, is your values and your faith system, and what you choose to, how you choose to like shape your life, right? Like your two lives are coming together to become one. So like if one person is like going this way and then the other person is like either staying right here or going the other way, you either got a tug of war, or you got somebody that's like almost like, I don't say a ball and chain, but just for imaginary senses, imagine a ball and chain and this person trying to go that way. They're gonna keep going and being yanked back. And I think that it doesn't create an atmosphere where the family can move united, like in a direction, and like you said, thrive. So it could be tough.
That's exactly that's why God said it's not good to be yoked with an unbeliever, which means like if you, funny, the kids found a picture of it recently, but yoke, if you could imagine, it's this thick like wooden thing around both of our necks, and it connects us. So with that illustration of what Brock just said, if you have one person like pulling and you try to go this way, like you're like almost choking the life out of, so that a lot of the tension in your relationship is probably a result of that. Right. But what I will say is, unfortunately, that is very common. It is not uncommon for a wife to be going to church, for the man to stay at home. I mean, it was when your dad retired that he finally started going, but he was like committed. Right. So I will say, don't be discouraged. Like, it is hard. You will feel the tension of it. But at the end of the day, we each have an individual relationship with God or not. And the answer is not, well, you stop going to church, right? Because you need that. For me, when we had our issues, that was my lifeline, was going to church and finding some refuge from all the stuff. Like, I needed to go get filled up so I could go home and deal with the foolishness at the time. So I would say God will give you a grace to endure. And 1 Peter chapter 3, I believe, the first part, it says, when a woman learns how to be kind and gracious and loving to her husband, even without words, that can win him over. So there is truth to, like, you just keep doing it. Don't try to force him to go. Don't try to hit him over the head with the Bible. When he sees your life being transformed, he's going to desire that. And a lot of kids, I've worked in kids ministry. A lot of kids end up getting their parents to go. So even when the kids are involved. So it's, everybody, there's a reason. Usually prayer works. So, connect with people you pray, and then connect with other prayer warriors who can agree with you. But don't give up. It doesn't mean give up on the marriage if you're in it already. Now, if you're not married, and they don't want to go to church, that's a different conversation.
That's a different story. Because some things that happen within relationships, some people got church hurt. They're like, I don't feel like going back to another church, and they'll fall back for a season. Some people just have seasons where they're just trying to like search within themselves of what they really believe, and they go through a season where they're just like, I need to step back and just evaluate where I'm at and all that. Like, you keep believing. Don't just like throw your faith away because somebody else is, or don't shrink back. Like like Dominique said, your faithfulness in that season of life will continue to encourage and inspire your spouse. That's what the word says, right? But you do need that like community around you to encourage you at the time, because it's easy to just gravitate towards, well, if they not, I'm just not, right? Or if they're not doing, I'm gonna just give up and just forget it. Don't throw in the towel. Like, stay the course of what your faith is, man, and trust that God will eventually draw them back in.
He will. Now I'm gonna throw in, this is not on the list, but the flip side of that, and Brock, I want to hear from you, like when two people in a marriage go to church and they're super involved, but like they're both being pulled in different directions, what maybe encouragement or advice would you give them?
Yeah, you mean like just in like
they're both going, but it feels like it's interfering, right? It creates busyness, or it's kind of interfering with them making each other a priority.
Shoot, just that, what you just said. Like the marriage is the priority, not the busyness of doing ministry work, right? Like, God established the first primary work within the family to be the primary like ministry. And so like to be the priest of your home and to be like the steward of your home comes first before like going outside your home to try to save the world. Like, you can't save the world and then not save your home and your marriage and your kids and all that. And so like you can't just be and a lot of people do it because they just have the zeal, right? And they had that zeal, that passion for it, and both people could really be gung-ho about the ministry. And like for a season, I'll say seasons, while there are seasons of busyness, but it has to be agreed upon. Right. Like, we're going to agree to do this, right? And then have our pockets of time for each other. But if it's just you going like month after month after month after month of not having time for each other for the sake of being out having meetings and coffees and ministry and preaching and worship and and then your marriage is dying, like, that's an issue. And that's an issue in God's eyes. So the very thing you trying to do under the name of your faith is, God is like, bro, what you doing?
Right.
Like, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
And so I would say, like, if you in that, like, pause, pump the brakes, and reevaluate, man. And it's okay to just say, hey, we doing too much.
Right.
We need to chill. We've had to do it on a number of seasons, and we've recognized it over the years of our life. Like, hey, man, we got a lot going on, and we ain't really had a solid date night. We ain't really like quality time, your love language, like, yo. And so we have to say, all right, wait a minute. Let's reevaluate, man, and put the first things first.
But to be clear, it is a beautiful thing for a husband and wife to serve together. So we're not saying that, but try to find ways, again, to serve together and not serving all over. Like, it's beautiful to see couples serving in kids ministry together. Kids need to see that. Our kids need to see us serve. We've gone and fed the homeless together. Like, kids need to see that model for them.
Yeah, so. Definitely, man. That's good. That's a good question. Really good question.
All right. You did that one. Oh, what things do you see in your spouse that made you want to marry them?
Oh, everything. Everything. Man, what did I see? Okay. Man, there's so much, man. For me, it was one, your beauty. You was beautiful. Listen, man,
I cut the hair, y'all, to go back to.
Look, did y'all recognize that?
Go back to my first love.
Come on, man. She just, round of applause, man. Looking all good and just glowing on the screen. I'm just looking at the screen like, yo, you look amazing,
That's
man.
Sweat.
No, you one, you were beautiful. That matters. Like, you want to marry somebody that you are physically attracted to. I believe that. I believe that you the first thing you see from a person is who they are, what they look like. And I'm not saying you don't rule nobody out off the jump from that. I'm just saying, for you, I saw your beauty first. I didn't know who you were. I was just like, wow, she looks amazing. So your beauty. I saw like your faith. I saw your Bible there. So like your Bible attracted me in a season of life where I was actually like seeking for a little bit of that. Like, I didn't have it in my life as a strong place, and to see that in a beautiful woman who seemed like she had like some faith about her, that was like, yo, this is the primary thing for me, was dope. And then just to kind of see like your like, it was kind of like leadership commitment type. Like, you had like some disciplines and like you had like vision and goals, and you was like, man, I'm trying to make something happen. I'm out here. Like that attracted me. And so I would say those three things made me be like, yeah, I need that. You know what I mean? Like that made me, that encouraged me to like kind of like level up to get to where I wanted to be. It kind of just, it showed me like I had areas where I needed to grow, but I wanted to grow in. And I had prayed prior to meeting you. I was like, the next woman I meet, like I want to do right by, like for a change in my life. And then I ended up meeting you, and I was like, God, bro, like this it, like this the one. And so I would say those things really like made the light bulbs go off based on what I had said prior to. It's like, okay, I think this is it. So let me consider if this is a serious thing versus just, oh, this is a beautiful lady that I like and I just want to, you know, whatever. Like, and it'll end up being my bride for sure.
I think for me, what do I want to say? So first of all, I had a list. Now I know there's controversy over the list. I had a list because I needed one. Because prior to that, I was settling for people and situations that I should not have. So my list wasn't like an idol. It wasn't like I was willing to trust God, but God challenged me to get a list just so I looked at what was important to me. And I would say 98% of what was on my list I saw in you. And I was like, okay, even though he's not my type, like, okay, he checked most of the boxes. The boxes you didn't shouldn't have been on there. And that's probably a story I'll share for the podcast.
Yeah.
That got me in trouble. But again, the list helped me to prioritize what was important to me and my values. So like a small town, like country boy was on my list, and he was that. A value for family and a love for family. He has a huge heart for his own family, his nuclear family, but also ours. And so that was important to me. This wasn't on my list, but one thing that was an X factor that I knew, Brock was one of the few men that was like strong enough to like challenge me. And because he's younger and full of life, he like rounds me out in that way. So both of those things made me uncomfortable and challenged me, but it was like a good challenge. So that's how my list, my 98% list, and then ultimately, yes.
Oh, that list, man. Oh, y'all some listers out there, man. Just the list.
Again, if your list is not, I don't know, you can't put too much stock in it, but I needed it to get my mind right. And
I like it though. That's some value in the list, man.
It's how you use the list. My list wasn't like a demand for God. It was God guided me and he helped me process what I needed. So that because if I didn't have that, I probably been like,
I see value in it. Like now in my life, like with listing out, because it's really like a beautiful thing to like list out. Like it's
your values, what's core and important to you.
Yeah. So I'm with it. You know what I mean? I'm with it.
I'll tell you about when he wasn't with it.
I wasn't with it. Still ain't with it. If I see the list now, I would be like, man, get this list out of here. Man.
That's what you get for reading the old journal. Who does that?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Let's do a couple more. Let me see something real quick. I'm gonna see. Probably should have did this earlier.
What?
Going on here.
Oh, honey, let's just
sharing thing.
It's fine. Let's just finish, baby. You interrupted my phone. All right. Oh, we talked about that. How did you know it was the right person? Oh, let's pick a good one.
Yeah, we'll do like a couple more. We're running up on about 30 minutes or so, man. Hopefully y'all enjoying, man. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the fun times.
Send us more questions. We have to find some of these. Let's see. Oh, how do you and your spouse arrive at decisions?
That's one we had to figure out along the way. Listen, man, we used to just make individual decisions, like just a part. We used to just take our strengths and just make decisions. I think now we've come to a part where we actually like sit down and have conversations about what we're gonna do, what we plan to do, what's the best thing for us to do. So like we've tried to have meetings that work sometimes and don't. That's our Sunday meeting, collaborative, kind of synchronized calendars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like big decisions, I think a lot of times we make them like while we driving. I'm just thinking through like just the reality of. I could give a perfect answer and be like, well, yeah, we sit down at 7 p.m. every night over dinner and talk about what we got. Like it ain't like that always. Right? Sometimes we just driving along the way and we say, hey, we need to talk about this, and we're along the way to drop the kids or we going out of town or something. We'll talk through like, hey man, what do we think about, this plan for the house or the repair for the house, or like the kids need to go, re-up their tuition for school. So what does that look like? How do we feel about putting them back in this school or that school? And like, we'll try to find pockets where like we're like by each other and we're able to talk about it. It may not be like at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. we're going to talk, but it's like pockets where we're sitting next to each other and we can say, hey, is this a good time to talk about this?
Yeah.
Let's run it, man. Let's talk about it. And we just find those natural times. There are times where we can kind of like schedule out during our calibration and we're going through our calendar and then we say, hey, we got this meeting about this booking or this thing. And then we can talk about it at that moment and it's more scheduled. But I seem to realize like we kind of just
we do it
in the flow of the moment.
Yeah, and we're not in a rush to arrive at a decision because after we process, then we take time to pray and like, okay, what do you feel like God is saying to you? I feel like God is saying this to me.
Right, yeah.
And then we'll pray together also. So, yeah, I would say just slow down when you can. As far as me, like decisions I make individually, I try not to commit to anything without consulting with him first. One, out of respect for him and honor for him. But two, to make sure like logistically, are the kids taken care of? Is there something you need from me? So that's something I think we're good about
on that.
For the most part.
Yeah, we've got better at that where I almost sometimes I try to over like communicate. Hey, you good? Everything good? Hey, I got this meeting or this thing or this or that. Like you need me to do this for the kids, pick them up. Is everything straight before I say yes to this?
Yeah.
And we try to be on one accord so that our family is straight. Big decisions. We definitely pray though. We talk about it. We throw our ideas out there, and then we just say, "Hey, man, let's see what God is saying. Has He confirmed anything in you? Has He confirmed anything in your heart? Has He shown you anything?" And we try to like wrestle a little bit with that, because ultimately, at the end of the day, we want unity.
Yeah.
And so we want to, whatever decisions we make, we don't want to make them in chaos and then like what's in division.
Yeah,
that's the last thing we want is division in our home.
Well, with that vision retreat too, like we have a big time to really think high level about everything, and then look between the end of the year, beginning of the year, we kind of revisit that, and then I think monthly, quarterly, like we always check in because then at least we have direction. Maybe where we can't consult every time, we pre-agreed upon certain things.
We know where we're trying to go.
Yes, and so that becomes my decision making guide in that moment.
No, that's true. Shout out to the vision retreat.
Yeah,
like I ain't gonna lie, man.
If you've never done one, it's game.
Vision retreat
that changed the game for us. It created a non-threatening space for us to talk about things that were really contentious, and we didn't know how. So you get away, you have a good time, you worship, you pray together, like all of the things, and
in your own way.
Set us up.
In your own way too. You do it based on what y'all pick out to do. It could be like, we're gonna go get a hotel room for a night or two, and it's gonna be intentional time just to connect with your spouse, but also to say, hey, how are we gonna do parenting this year? How are we gonna do the finances? How are we gonna do our faith life? How are we gonna do all the things that encompass your relationship? And it's a special retreat for you to get vision for your marriage, man. So it's good.
Last question.
Yeah.
I don't forget exactly how it was. What is joyful about our marriage? What brings us joy about being married?
Y'all really want to know? I can't tell y'all that, but can you tell?
You're a mess. You are a mess.
You gotta keep it 100 at all times, y'all. 100. Yeah. Man, most joyful, I think, is like really like us doing this kind of stuff. Like us, I think us being able to be genuinely who we are at a space of time in our life where like it irritates us certain little odd things, but I think for the most part we've embraced each other being who God made us to be and being able to like do ministry and entrepreneurship and parenting together in a fun way, a real way. It's fun. So like Facebook Live stuff, we wouldn't have been able to do this like 5-10 years ago. Like, but you know, our marriage mediation, you know, the life coaching, the music, the speaking, like everything we could do, Transformers movement, like those are joyful things and allow our kids to be like in the mix with it, like running with us, being a part of it, being around it. That just brings my heart joy. Because I know we're doing things the way God wants us to do it in a real way, not in like a legalistic, like boxed in type way. I feel free. We feel free, and a lot of people don't have that, and so that brings me joy. I'm having fun, you know.
Good. Well, that was my answer.
What?
Love you, Auntie. Look at Auntie Shruti.
Hey,
love you too. We miss you. Yeah, I think that is the greatest joy, like us walking in our purpose together individually, but like we figure out how to do it together.
Right.
Like going overseas and like serving together. Like I think just the experiences we have traveling, trying new things, going out on the limb.
Mm-hmm.
What else though? We enjoy sex.
Sex, man.
Very joyful.
Sex is amazing, man. Thank God, praise God.
And it gets better with time.
Praise the Lord. You know what I mean?
We are not ashamed. Hey, Donna, love you. Yeah. So we enjoy all of that. And what else? We enjoy food together. So trying new foods, traveling. That is our retirement plan. We want to travel the world, be food critics, so people pay us to eat their food.
And we're practicing the video stuff. Like y'all gonna see that because we're gonna have a video vlog, kind of like Diners and Dives. We're gonna have our own rendition. Like it's gonna be dope. Like I forgot the dude that came to Dallas recently, man. And he blew up. He's like a major food critic person that came in. The whole city was going wild. But that's gonna be us, right? Just in a different way. It'll probably be different technology when we get ready to start doing it, but. Yeah, we're foodies. We're just having fun, man. We're on an adventure of growing. I think that's what brings joy. Is like it's a mystery. It's an adventure, and we're not in the mundane. You know, every day is like, shoot, what's next? What we got? So it's fun, man. Well, thank y'all, man, for tapping in with us on 3 platforms. We got YouTube, Instagram. And Facebook rolling.
So subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, so you get I don't know, it alerts you, I guess.
Yeah, it alerts you when we post. Like it alerts you when we post. It alerts you when we post new content. When we have stuff coming up, we'll let you guys know. We're learning out the systems, man. So we're only 4 episodes in on this. So we'll get more effective with sharing the stuff. And sharing, like I didn't even share the live stream on the personal page today, so forgive me if y'all missed it, man. But we appreciate y'all. Episode 5 and 6.
4. Well, yeah, this is 4.
This is 4. 5 and 6 are coming up. Y'all are gonna see some new stuff. Y'all gonna see some different things. It's gonna be a different vibe. The quality, everything's gonna be better. Listen, man, God is elevating. He's challenging us, man, and we're just learning out how to keep going incremental by increment. You know what I mean? So. Thank y'all for taking the journey with us. If you need any marital coaching, counseling, mediation, please reach out to us. Thank you for everybody that has already reached out and been scheduling your discovery calls and your intensives with us. Listen, we are ready and available to serve you. So y'all reach out. Don't be in your marriage going through it and not tapping in and calling in and say, hey, we need some help. So we're here to resource you and empower you.
Or if you're good, but you know someone else who either needs to be proactive, they're talking about marriage, or they're early in their marriage. It's never too early or too late.
Right.
Like you might be healthy and good, but y'all haven't figured out why God brought you together and what the vision is, or you're empty nesting is like, what do we do next?
Right.
We can help with all of that, and we want to.
Right, definitely. So hit the links in our bio, hit all the stuff, man. Fill out the forms to contact us. We'll set up a call. And let's get tapped in, man, because we want to see these marriages pursuing purpose and passion, man. That's what you was made for. And we want to live it and give it to y'all as best as we can too. So much love from us to you. Relentless Love Podcast, baby.
Bye.
Peace, everybody.
Y'all, I don't know how to use Instagram. It's awful.
Oh, I'm trying to tap the laptop and I'm supposed to click. I'm tripping like no, hit wait, hold on.
Yeah, let me let him do this.